guys, it's your girl Tina Wolfe, bookwithtina.com, helping people all over the world with self-love, self-healing, and building of relationships. Today on the Tina Wolfe Show, I'm bringing in an extraordinary, amazing guest, and now also my new boo, my new friend. She is the owner of Phoenix, get it right, girl. Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine, editor-in-chief of PFF Magazine, 3 times best-selling author, certified life coach, and healthy lifestyle coach. My boo, Tiffany Parra.
Hey, boo. How you doing, sweetie?
Girl, I have a mouth full of nothing but great things and positivity to say. So welcome to the Tina Wolfe Show.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here, Tina. I just love you. I love your energy. I do.
Girl, we are a match made in heaven from the time. So I'm getting
Sure.
chills now. And people that watch me know when I get chills, that's definitely some good vibrations going on. One of the things I absolutely love about you is your smile. You know, before I notice anything, is your smile. It just beams and radiates. It is so healing. So thank you for healing us every time you smile.
Oh, thank you so much for that.
You're so welcome. So today, I want to actually interview you and get to know you a little better. And, you guys, people like to get questions from me ahead of time, and I don't mind, but sometimes I like to just get the real raw, like, there I go. Okay, there I go. Sometimes I just like to get that real raw response. And so this is going to be interesting. I hope I'm not giving you anxiety with this, like, oh my God, what is she going to say? Because you never know you never know what's going to be said on this show and what's going to pop up and what's going to happen. And we're going to get all into your business, how you got here now. But before you were the owner of Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine, we want to go back just a little bit so we can kind of build the foundation and appreciate the greatness of how you got here. So a question I typically ask all of my guests when they come on is, what did you want to be when you were a little girl?
Oh my goodness. You know what? I wanted to be so much. But the one thing that really stands out for me was wanting to be a veterinarian, because I've always had a link in nature and animals. And, when I was about 2.5, 3 years old, we lived in Orange County, and I would go out to the backyard, and it was so amazing because there was this white butterfly that would come in. And this happened for days. And, they don't live that long. I mean, I found it as I got to an adult, but it would come and land on my nose. And my parents would watch from the window like, what? And and they would wait for me to go back out again to see if it would happen again. And it did not fail. That butterfly would come. So as I got older, I would bring home strays. I would bring home snakes, rats, cats, dogs. I mean, just everything.
I'm like, no!
But I just have a passion for animals. So everybody thought I was going to be a vet. I wanted to be a veterinarian. I was always trying to fix little things and stuff. In high school, I was introduced to the FFA, which a lot of people know, 4-H. I raised cows, sheep, pigs, all those things. I showed, at the fairs and all that stuff. So being in that, everybody was just like, yeah, she's gonna be in some kind of animal field. And I did for a little while. So.
Yeah, awesome. Well, the reason why I asked that question is because most times, whatever we wanted to do when we were children normally spills over into our adulthood in the same or similar way. And the fact that you have the Phoenix Fitness Fanatics, we're all animals. Baby, this is a meat suit, okay? So you are veterinarian over our wonderful animal bodies, right?
Yeah.
If you are a type of person that believes in spirit, energy, universe, all of those things, you know that this is just our vehicle. This is our conduit, you know.
Yes,
So
yes.
speaking of spirit, here's the next question that I ask my guests. So sometimes I ramble it all together. So if you need me to separate it, it's fine. But most of us growing up as our foundation, typically we grow up with some type of religious background. Not everyone, but some of us. So if you did grow up with a religious background, what was that background? And once you got older, did you hold on to that or create a new belief system as you got older?
Whew, that's a good question. Well, I grew up in a pretty religious family. My grandfather on my dad's side was a preacher, AME churches in Texas. And whenever we would go to, they were in Arizona. They went from Texas. They were a few different places. Ended up in Arizona, in Phoenix. My grandfather set up churches in Arizona. Also set up one of the first elderly homes that it was religiously based, but just awesome work that he did. Now as a child, you have to, they force you to go to church and all that stuff. So I went in kind of just dragging. I didn't have a lot of interest in it, but I think it was because I was being made to have to go, right? So as I got a little bit older, I started in high school, actually junior high, excuse me. I got introduced to a couple of other different religious, Scientology and things like that. And I really just kind of just wanted to find, what really made me comfortable. I now am, I am a Christian. I'm a very spiritual Christian. I believe I have a huge belief system. I really believe that, whatever your source is, everybody has to have a belief, because if you don't have that connection, that spiritual connection, you're lost. You're completely lost. So I believe that is a healing when you have a spiritual connection. And I just believe that is that driving force that always gets you to that next level. So I am a Christian, and yeah.
Awesome. And I also like to share with my guests, just so that you guys know, any question that I ask, I'm willing to answer myself. Okay. And especially on this topic. For me, just like most of us, I grew up in the church. I grew up Baptist. So I love the hollering. I love the hooting. I love the singing. Like, I love all of that. And then, my mom kind of experimented, just like you're saying, so we did the Buddhism, the Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still say Nam Myoho Renge Kyo when I'm feeling it. And I say amen, I say hallelujah, shout. I still sing. I enjoy gospel music. But once I got older, I also explored, and I was like, I love the vibe of things, but I really need something I can connect with directly. And so I went on this journey, and at 15 years old, I found Islam. And I felt like Islam resonated with me because I was like, I always pray to God. And my definition of God is the creator of the heavens, the earth, the trees, the birds, trees, me, you, all of this in between. You see how it flows like that? I've been saying that since I'm 7 years old. So when I read the very first surah of the Quran, I was like, this is God, And I was Muslim for many years. And then as I got older, in my late 40s, I started studying, like you said, about energy and all these religions and everything. And I just said, you know what? I'm just going to say God to me is everything I described, in addition to everything positive that's going to help me in my life. So that is my short journey, and that's where I stand, and that's where I am too. So I like to ask that because I like to see where people's, did you kind of, we started off here because I was like you during the singing.
Yes, you stomping your feet and everything, and you're running up and down the aisles.
But when they start talking,
no, and I, you know what? I was notorious for being in the church nodding, and forgive me, but I'm telling you, I remember just getting that elbow from my mom all the time. Like,
She going
Yeah.
on, eat this piece of candy so you can stay awake. You know?
Exactly. It was always a peppermint. Okay.
Yes. So now that we have a little bit, we know a little bit about what you wanted to do when you were younger. You over these animals now, baby, and we love you for being over these animals because we need some control with our appetites, with our eating habits, balancing our mind, body, and spirit. And so I kind of want to fast forward a little bit, and I want to go to high school for just a moment. You know,
Right.
high school for me was not exactly great, but it wasn't horrible. When I came out of high school, all these people were like, girl, you're so popular. And I'm like, I never thought I was even popular. I was just very friendly, just like I am now. So
Yeah.
because you have the fitness going on now and everything, in high school, tell me about your journey in high school, if you went to college or if you came out of high school and went straight to the journey of life. And just take us on a brief journey of how from high school you built up to fitness and getting involved to getting into the magazine.
Well, I'm going to say that my fitness journey really did start in high school. I was a little awkward. I mean, I'm very tall. I'm 5'10". So, and I've always been, I'm that big bone girl. That's what they called me, So high school, I came from Orange County, which was completely different type of people. I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, came out to Chino, still predominantly white, but a little bit different, a little bit more culture, out here as well. But it was a culture shock for me because it was farmland, it's farm town. So when I got here, I came out here from Orange County where I had all my friends, everything. Came here in 9th grade, knew no one. But I'm very friendly. So of course I met most of the neighborhood, all that good stuff. In high school, I was trying to figure out my niche, trying to figure out where I belong. And in the 10th grade, they had actually opened up a new high school. And that's where it all started for me, because that's when I got into track and field. I found myself really adoring throwing shot put and discus because of my size. It put me in a good place, So I utilized my size and became league champion up until senior year when Pekka Laiulu, I will always remember Pekka. She kind of booted me out of that space, but we stayed friends for a few years, and she definitely taught me some technique. So, I kind of dabbled in a little bit of everything. I told you about the FFA. So I was president of the FFA. It was really that leader has always been in me. Even from a little girl. I mean, I've always been that one trying to get the groups together. Let's go do this. Let's do that. And, really stepping into that. So, I became the captain of the throwing team and, graduated, went to our JC here. And that's where everything kind of changed for me. I did become a certified horse ranch manager there. I was on their track team. And when you go from high school to college track and you're a thrower, if you're not a very large thrower or extremely good, it could be a culture shock for me. So for you, so when I got there and I saw these big old girls,
You're like,
right? And it got my ego. So, I decided that I was going to leave the track team and really just focus more on the animal thing. Was going for my degree in animal husbandry. I became an animal control officer at the Pomona Humane Society. I was there for about 4 years, but that job really became my life. When you're in class and your radio's going off and you have to go and pick up a dog that just got hit by a car, it's an emergency when you're in that position. I took an oath as a humane officer to do what I need to do to help the animals. So that did hinder me from finishing school, but hindsight later, I was able to, I became a human resource manager. I grew in a company in Irvine. It was an awesome company, awesome leadership team. Commute was hell, but it was an awesome experience.
yes.
So in 2008, I was told I was going to die if I didn't make some changes. I was caught up in that hamster wheel of life.
Wow. Yeah.
When you're an HR manager, you care about everybody else and what their well-being is, but you tend to forget about you. And a lot of us just as women tend to forget about us because we are such that nurture and that care, we care about everything. We want to help everything. So my blood pressure extremely high, blood sugar through the roof, cholesterol through the roof. And when he told me I was going to die, I had to go back and say, you know what? Hold on. Like, I have a son. I have a responsibility here more than just me.
Yes.
I got to do something about this. So I went home and I prayed. I cursed God for a minute because I'm like, how did you get this way? But it wasn't him that made me get this way, it was me. And I had to realize that. And once I realized that, I said, you know what, Tiff, you were an athlete in high school. Like, you know what to do. Get your ass in the gym.
Yes.
So I started doing that. I started getting up moving. And I changed my eating habits. When I was pregnant, I had gestational diabetes. Now, y'all know if anybody out there's had gestational diabetes, that diet sucks. A stick of string cheese, 12 almonds, that's not a doggone meal. Okay, so, but you have to do it because you want to bring your baby here healthy. You don't want to have to deal with all the complications that come with gestational diabetes because now it's affecting your child too. Your child can come into this world diabetic because of you.
Wow.
Right? So made those changes, released almost 120 pounds. And that's really where the fitness, I just adopted all that stuff again and it just became habit.
Wow.
I mean, it was hard at first because I'm like, I don't want to wake up at 4:00 in the morning, but I have to, because if I don't wake up at 4:00 in the morning, life is going to come up. I got to go to work. I got to get the kid together. I got to do all this stuff. I'm not going to do it.
Right. Wow. So question. I mean, again, sticking with the animal theme, I just have so many questions right now, but I'm going to say, with your experience with the animals, right? And now you're in HR or working with this different group of animals. How was that transition? I mean, how do you transition from this animal that's like, I need your help and I feel your vibe, I'm going to let you help me, into this world of new animals that can speak, saying, I mean, I guess my question is, between the two animals, and if people are offended, disclaimer, but we are animals. So, what did you learn from working with the actual animals? What did you bring over into the HR animal world? Like,
honestly, so much, because when you're an animal control officer, it's almost like you're a cop. You got to go out, you got to license animals, and most cities have license ordinances. So yeah, you're paying $35, $40 for a license. That's where I started. I started going door to door, getting people to license their animals. I got chased up the street. I had a weapon pulled out on me twice because people just didn't want to follow the law. And it made me just like, at first I was just like, oh my gosh, you people, what? It's $35, $40 for your animal. Come on, just do it. And I was laughing. It's like, what is wrong with people?
Get those license.
And then I, got promoted as an officer, got out in the field, and now you're dealing with people on a whole different level, because now you're dealing with people that abuse animals because they can. And you're going out and you're having to take that report. You're having to take that animal from them. You're having to give them a citation for their own, abuse that they're doing. And it made me really get to know people, and it made me learn I learned that I had the gift of being able to defuse situations. And it was really just talking to people instead of, having that gut crazy reaction. Whoa. Hey, you having a bad day? Like, come on now. Like, this is not personal. I'm just doing my job. Yeah. I'm just out here. I signed a contract stating that this is what I'm going to do. This is what I've chosen. You've chosen to be whatever you chose to be. But I'm here and I have a job to do. And if I don't do this job, I'm going to get in trouble and I'm going to get fired. Yeah. So we can either either I'm going to have to do this now, or I'm going to have to come back with my sergeant. And I don't think you're going to like him. So let's get it done together. I learned to negotiate with people. And that's what HR is. HR is a huge freaking negotiation with people when people don't get along with each other. I worked at one facility where we had 500, 600 employees. We had ages 18 to 80. Okay, so you got a lot of different personalities. And I just remember as I just started growing in HR, just some of the people's attitudes and things. And I saw myself doing the same thing, like, hey, why don't you come in my office real quick? Come sit down. Let's have a talk. And I think it's just communicating with people, not having the gut reaction, not getting your own emotions all crazy about it, because we can, and if they would have caught me maybe a few more years before, I probably would have been in that guy's face, cussing him out and everything, like, dude, what you got? But no, I had already learned a little bit to just. And I think it was really my dad taught me that. My dad was a sheriff for 30 years, LA County Sheriff. So he knew the art of negotiation very well.
Yeah. And it seems like what you learned, this is just my take on it, is that you definitely learned patience.
Oh, yeah.
Actual animals, because they don't have a voice. So you have to utilize that instinct and that intuition that says, okay, this animal is cool. He's not. He wants to be helped. And so having that nonverbal communication, learning that from the animals definitely transitions over to the human animals. And then the owners, like you said, the owners, like learning about how to communicate with them. So now when you get into HR, you're like, I done got stuff pulling on me, people trying to, beat me up and all of this. And so you come in here crying about something that ain't on your desk. That's nothing. Like, okay, you got a problem with Sally Sue next to you. Okay. And
I a few little things in between that prepared me as well. I did retail sales for a while. Retail sales in the Beverly Center. You meet so many different characters there as well. And when these things break, people lose their mind. Okay. So I think that taught me even more. It was like that stepping stone for me. Like, okay, the animals and having to deal with, the people, the owners and things. That was one thing. Then once I got into that retail side, and I had to leave the animals because I got in a car accident. A guy T-boned me, and he was going pretty fast, and it shifted my pelvic bone and kind of tilted it. Also jacked up my shoulder. They told me I was not going to be able to lift over 50 pounds. Wow. So, I mean, when you're out in the field, I can't just call my sergeant every single time. I've got a dog that's over 50 pounds, and there's a whole lot of dogs that are over 50 pounds. So, I had to just, okay, well, it is what it is, and I was just lucky that I had a family member that was working at one of the cell phone companies, and they got me in. I was in customer service for a while. Again, that's teaching me how to deal with people. Okay, when you're on that,
emojis to the world. Shout out to all the customer service people, because you guys are the lifeline. I don't care what they say. So here's the thing. So you get T-bone. You had already had a doctor tell you that you're going to die. And then you like, okay, I got to change my life. And then you go through this pregnancy. You're like, okay, now I got this gestation. Oh, my God. Okay,
everything through the life. Everything.
Like, now I got busted up, my hip jacked up, my shoulder jacked up. I can't lift more than 50 pounds. Oh, my God. I'm like,
life's been grand.
I need to rise. This Phoenix, I need to rise. How can fitness help me to change my life? Is like what I feel like. How can I get fitness to change my life? How do you transition from this corporate thinking America and transitioning to fixing yourself? Tell me how you fixed yourself, and people started saying, hey, I want some of what you got. Tell me about that.
Well, when I started my fitness journey, because I kind of bounced around a little bit, the car accident was years before, and then I got into, again, the cellular. Then I moved into, just that HR, position as well. So when they told me I was going to die, again, I remembered all that stuff. I just started just doing stuff for myself. I had friends say, you know what? Why don't you just sign up for a 5K or something? Put some money on the table. Maybe, that when you commit to stuff like that, you're gonna do it. And I did that, So at lunch, I started walking, and first it was let me just walk a little bit, maybe it'll be a mile, then it was 2 miles, then 3 miles. And when she said, that 5K thing, I thought it was 5 miles when she first said it. So I'm like, wait, that's a lot. No, it's only like 3.1. I'm like, all right, I think I can do that.
Yeah.
And as I was making the changes in my eating, as I was getting up and walking and not sitting behind my desk, stuff was starting to happen, and my body was changing. I found my own accountability partner because my son's friend, my son was in basketball and he had a friend, her name is Barbara. She's my friend now. I love Barbara. She's still one of my accountability partners, but we started going to the gym together. I said, girl, will you come with me to the, Fitness 19? She said she wanted to lose some weight as well. So let's go ahead and let's just get up. They open at 4:30. We can get in there and get out.
Yeah.
And I'd wake up at 4 o'clock. I would either text her, give her a call, you up? We'll meet there. Get there. And people started seeing us there. And as we're coming in, I mean, when you said my smile, thank you so much, because people say that all the time. And that was one of the things that some of the people noticed in the gym. Instead of me dragging my ass into the gym at 4:30 in the morning, Barbara and I are coming in. It's like we're high-fiving each other, like, yeah, and we knowing everybody's name now. It's like, hey, what's going on, Carl? What's up, Claudia? And we just started that energy early in the morning. So then some other people started kind of gravitating to us. I really was thinking, this is not a job for me. This is just me just teaching myself to be healthy, right? But as I'm looking around at people, I'm like, I'm directing them and they're getting results. Like, this is kind of cool. Then I started sharing with, different family members and things, and they start getting results. As I'm doing the research on teas and herbs and all these different things that regulate blood sugar, regulate blood pressure, cut cholesterol. Hey, y'all got to try this. Anything that I learned, I was trying to share with everyone that I could. And they were getting their own results. They were all varying because we're all different, but at least they were getting results. So that just really lit me up inside, because I'm like, okay, this is working. Now, let me go into the reason why is Phoenix Fitness Fanatics. Now, I am the Phoenix, okay? I was in the ashes of life, And when I started working out, I was in a toxic relationship. I went from one toxic relationship to another toxic relationship. And, that's really that self-worth kind of, battle within ourselves, right? But as I was starting to grow my tribe, and as I was starting to, just see other people change and things, it gave me joy. And I think my joy really made his ass leave. Okay, I lost a little weight. He's like,
that's a word.
I would have wanted somebody smaller. I would have got with somebody smaller. It's like, okay, well, you don't want me healthy. That's fine. Bye. Right? You gotta go. So once that came off, that weight, then it was like, oh my gosh, I have more time for myself and my son, and we can do this. So started working out a little bit more. I was working out in the morning, then I was working out in the evening, because I had that time to do it. So I put in a lot of work, and not everyone's going to be able to do that because they maybe don't have the time, or maybe they're just not built for that. But for me, I tapped so deep into my psyche that I was like, you know what, girl, you're invincible. You can do whatever you want to do. And I did that through affirmations. I did that with jumping into, I started, I went to Motivating the Masses with Lisa Nichols. That really helped me to believe in myself again, and just surrounding myself with positive, like-minded people.
Yes.
That was the key. Wow,
that is amazing. Girl, we're going to have to do a part 2 interview because our time is this
It was
30
so
minutes.
fast.
We're going to leave these people hungry and we're going to make them want more. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to do a second interview and we're going to do a part 2. But right now, I really just want you to tell them about your magazine, how to subscribe, tell us about whatever it is you have coming out, projects, books, everything. If I want you to train me, can you do it virtually or do I have to be where you are? Like, give us all the good stuff.
Yes. So first off, I have to share with y'all, Tina is one of our contributing writers for Phoenix Fitness Fanatics. We are so excited to have her on the team. Tina and I also are working with Mupo Entertainment. We signed with Michelle Mupo, and we're going to have a show as well. So if y'all like this energy, y'all are going to definitely have to go to Mupo and watch our show. If you have an Android or you have an iPhone, definitely go to your app, go to Mupo TV and download the app. For our magazine, you can go to it down at the ticker there. It's phoenixfitnessmag2021.com. If you want to subscribe, it's only $35 for a full year, and you'll get some amazing information from all of our wonderful contributing writers. I am always looking for other contributing writers and featured businesses. So definitely go to the page so you can see those opportunities. Again, Tina and I are into everything together, y'all. So I just launched the Becoming a Girl Powerhouse Volume 2. We became #1 bestsellers with the first one last August. This one is going to be coming out right before the holidays, so definitely look for that. There is going to be 20 authors. Right now we've got 16, so we are looking for a couple of more. So if there's any ladies out there that are courageous enough to tell their story of going through trauma to triumph, please reach out to me and let's definitely connect. For your virtual fitness training, you can go to, you can actually email me at phoenixfitnessfanatics2016.com, and I'll send you out all of the information. I go virtual Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 5:30 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. That's Pacific Standard Time. So I try to really adjust to both of our coasts. Okay, so if you're ready to really get yourself right, let's definitely talk. I do body weight exercises that really help to sculpt you down. I also do meal prepping to help you learn how to eat right and get that body type. So thank you so much, Tina, for inviting me today. This has just been amazing.
You're so welcome. And somebody somewhere is like, wait, let me get my pen. So give your email contact and your website one more time.
All right, so the website is going to be www.phoenixfitnessfanaticsmag2021.com, and you can email me, at phoenixfitnessfanatics2016.com or at gmail.com, at gmail.com.
Absolutely. I'm so excited that you came into my life and we'll work it. I'm already excited for part 2 because part 2 is going to be even better. But I love that we got the foundation in.
Yes.
Everything is just going to be so great. So thank you, Tiffany, for coming on. And for those of you that watch the Tina Wolfe Show, I bet y'all like, look at all this beautiful new atmosphere you got going on, Tina. Shout out to Tiffany. This is what happens when you meet beautiful people that want to work with you. So you guys, the Tina Wolfe Show, every Monday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time to 7:30 p.m. Sometimes we go a little bit over, but I try to keep us in alignment a little bit, okay? And if you're still hungry and you want more, that means you got to come back. All right. So I see you guys. Y'all have an awesome and amazing evening. Love you guys. Be great. Be your authentic self. And remember to compliment at least 10 people a day because you never know whose life you can change. You never know whose vibration you can raise up. And you never know what door of opportunity you can open up by simply paying a compliment. I love you guys. Heart emojis to the world. Be loved.